Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 88 of the Foxy Presidential Initiative, the Gyan Pravah podcast. Today, I'm taking a slightly different journey through this Gyan Pravah. We've heard so many different people, but today I have the opportunity, the pleasure to actually have my own mother, Dr. Nandita Palchetkar, on the podcast. And this is actually going to be our first formal interaction where I'm actually interviewing her personally. I know we all know about her professional achievements, but today I'm going to try and make you understand the journey that she's been through her childhood to what she is today, one of the most world-renowned gynecologists there is. But before I introduce Dr. Nandita Palchetkar, I have to introduce Dr. Ashwini Kale. Dr. Sunita Tandulwadkar, actually, we were all in a meeting just a few hours ago, and now she's in a flight. So, Dr. Ashwini, the ever faithful, the ever reliable joint secretary of Foxy, is always there. She herself is a national faculty, a absolute national global icon in embryology and infertility. Dr. Ashwini, thank you for taking out time. I know today it's a special day for you since it's your daughter's birthday. So all I want to say is happy birthday to Ahana, but at the same time, we would love to hear from you as well.
Thank you so much, Rohan, for the wonderful introduction. It's always a pleasure to hear Nandita madam, always not only professionally but personally as well. She herself has headed so many organizations as a president, and I'm sure this podcast is going to be very different where we get to see her journey. Times she's so humbled and grounded that my Amongst journey personally with her was such a cakewalk. I never felt that I'm working with a president. It was like a homecoming to me always. So looking forward to hearing this conversation, Nandita madam. I'll join from the viewers link. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Ashwini ma'am. So to introduce Dr. Nandita Palchetkar, what do we not know about her? She's been the president of Foxy, president of Amogs. She's been the chairperson of MSR. She's also been the president of the Mumbai OBGY Society and president of IAGE as well. She's won multiple awards, but let me give a little bit of an introduction that y'all don't know about. She's a loving grandmother who loves to trouble her granddaughter on a daily basis. Her granddaughter is no less who likes to trouble her Ajji, as she fondly knows her as, equally. She's a loving wife who's always there, or rather, I should praise my father a little bit. He's a loving husband to her as well and a pillar of support. She's obviously a loving mother, a mentor, a philosopher to me. So, welcome, Dr. Nandita Palchetkar. Thank you for joining the podcast with me today. I'm hoping to get a different insight out of you for all our viewers.
Thank you, Rohan. Thanks for that lovely introduction. And I'm also looking forward to having this chit chat with you. I'm really excited because I'm sure you'll get out some really, well kept secrets for me.
I,
So,
I,
anyway, but my life is an open book. You know that.
honestly, I'm more worried about any secrets you'll tell about me rather than about you. Okay, so I'm gonna begin from your childhood and early influences. So tell us a little bit about your childhood, about your medical training. What inspired you to take up medicine?
Um, you know, I was the first child, and my mother actually said I was a very cranky child. I used to cry all the time. So, that's why today people see me happy because I finished all my crying when I was very young. But I used to keep telling my mom that, Mom, it was her first child. She was very scared to feed her anything except milk and no water I was given. So I said, Mom, I'm sure you kept me hungry. That's why I used to cry. But yeah, the childhood was great fun. I grew up with three other siblings. In fact, Vijay and me are probably just 3 years apart, and we've done many naughty escapades as a child. I still remember there were some friends coming over for lunch, and I think I must have been 3 years old, and he must have been 1 year old, of something like that. And in those days, they used to make Shrikhand at home in that churner.
Yeah.
Okay, so that Shrikhand was made, and we it was kept on the floor, because it was being done on the floor. And both of us went there and we ate that Shrikhand. So when my mom came in, the Shrikhand was all, the vessel was all, we were in that vessel, licking our fingers, Shrikhand all over us. I mean, it's something I will never forget.
Honestly, I don't think a 1 year old Vijay Mama was going, both of y'all went there. I think you took him there just to try and save yourself a little bit.
But yeah, so that was my childhood, full of fun, full of, love, affection. And then the other two kids came and we really shifted to Bombay. I was born in Pune, shifted to Bombay. And my journey began with this beautiful school of Hillgrange. I think Hillgrange was a very fabulous experience for me. The school, actually, in the school, we performed on radio. We had Dolly Thakur as our elocution teacher. So
Oh, wow.
it was very interesting. And we performed at Chanmukhanand Hall for our college, for the school funds and stuff like that. So we were doing a lot of dynamic things in the school. And would you believe it? I was the athlete of the year in the school. I actually won medals in running, long jump, high jump, shot put. So
Actually, just coming to that short put story, you've always told me a story about your medical college and the short put story. Could you tell us about that as well?
I was really thin, 39 kilos, meaning you could, blow me away with a breath. I was that skinny, but I was athletic. I mean, I had my muscles and everything, but I was really, really thin. So I had this friend who was my opposite, I was very, very tiny and she was on the opposite side. And she knew that I'd taken part in shot put and we were playing, there was sports day in Grand Medical College. And in cycling, I won the second prize, and then shot put because I had been trained. And all the girls looking at me throwing the shot put said, no, no, we also want to participate. And everybody stood in line behind me. And believe me, they could not even throw 1 foot. And of course, I'd been trained in the technique and everything, and I won the prize. So they were like flabbergasted. But it's all about technique, it's all about strength, which I had been training for all my life, actually, because I was always an athlete. So it's great. Something, the other day I fell down, hurt myself very badly, but did not get any fracture, Rohan. Probably
Very,
because
I'm very happy and impressed. Let me put it that way.
so sturdy bones, and my father is a wrestler, you know that, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I think that
So
that's
the
been there.
genetic
But
genes.
well, looking at you, looking at Dada, looking at all the mamas and maushis, I think now I know where I get my athletic genes from as well.
Yeah,
So I'm really grateful that all of you are into sports because that's also such an important and integral part of my life. So
absolutely.
I must thank you for those genetics as well, which you've passed on to me as well. But now that you brought up Dada, you
Yeah.
know where I'm coming to. Let's get to first MBBS.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me, can you narrate the story about your father telling the dean? I'm not going to give away the
Uh,
punchline. You know what I'm talking about. I want you to narrate the
okay, okay.
story.
I'm going to narrate. In fact, you won't believe it. Vimla Mehta just called me today. And she's my HOD of anatomy in JJ
My
Hospital.
HOD of anatomy as well in medical college.
Right, right. So Rohan, let me begin by saying, when the results were out, my father actually took me to Nair, to JJ to see where my merit list was, and where would I get in and all. And I got into JJ. And it was a very happy situation. We were 200 medical students, and everybody was bunking. See, we had worked so hard for 12th standard. No movies, no going out, no telephone calls. We were really focused. And after that, I get into medicine. Oh my God, we were so happy. So we used to bunk all the classes. And what happened was 50 of us who bunked in the final year, we had 1.5 years that time. So 1.5 years, the exam forms had to be given. Dr. Lata Mehta held back 50 forms. Dr. Vimla Mehta was also there. They held back 50 forms, and they called the parents of these 50 children that, sorry, attendance is not good. They've been bunking college, and, come and talk to us. And everybody, my mother, I told her, please come. They've called you to college. She said, nothing doing. This dirty job, I'm not going to do. And we were really scared of father at that time. I mean, we were, petrified of him because he was a little strict and stuff like that. So then he came with me to college because my mom is a tough lady. She wouldn't fall for my emotional blackmail or anything. So dad came to college.
My mother.
Yeah, I'm the one who is a bakra for emotional blackmail. You know it so well. So we went into this classroom. Lata Mehta, Vimla Mehta, all the teachers were sitting there, and Lata Mehta, the HOD, said, Mr. Patil, your daughter has not attended class, and that's why we don't want to give her form for the first MBBS. So I was like, oh my God, I was near to tears. I said, no, I'm really sorry and all that. And she turns to my father to hear what he has to say. And he says, Dr. Lata Mehta, I totally agree with you. She should not get the form. She does not value her education. And there is some student who has not got the seat because she got the seat. So I think she deserves to be left behind for 6 months. Oh my God. I was like aghast. All the parents were pleading for their children. And here comes my father and says, punish her, leave her behind. Of course, Lata Mehta did tell him that, no, okay, she's a good student. So, we'll give her this time, this free pass this time. And I was able to appear. But, Rohan, it taught me one thing in life, to value things. I think, sometimes we take things for granted, and it's very important to be able to value them. And that was the beginning of my career.
Absolutely. And I think that's such an important point because we generally take things which come to us easily so granted. We really need to understand even the smaller things that we do get. If we value and cherish them, it really ends up meaning a lot in the long run. As you always say, boond boond se sagar banta hai. So in that manner, I just want to say I think that's a beautiful story, and I think Dada has imbibed such good values into you and all your siblings. I think that just comes out when when I see all of y'all interacting with each other and with people in general. So I think that's wonderful. So now you talked about your MBBS days. Then obviously I know that during gynecology, you had a little bit of a bumpy road over there because I know that you took a break for a bit. Could you just, if you don't mind, could you tell us about that journey part as well?
Yeah, what happened was, I was in third MBBS, and my mother and father caught me with your
Dating
father.
dad?
And in internship, they got me married. And I was hardly like 23 years old, and Pradeep was also like 24 years old. So I said, I want to study, otherwise I'm not getting married. That was the
Just to
condition.
let everyone know, I got married at 25. So it wasn't that far off.
Yeah, so then, Pradeep's mother also was very, very cooperative. Pradeep's father was very cooperative, and they knew that this child is coming to our house and she is going to study. I still remember, my first couple of days after marriage, your Aji used to cook, my mother-in-law used to cook, and I had no clue about cooking. So, like as a bahu of the house, you want to go and assist. So I would just stand fumbling around in the kitchen. So she would, like want me to be involved. So she said, "E tur dal dega, tur dal." So I looked at her and I looked at all the dals over there and I said, "Which color is tur dal?" So she was like, OMG, this is the kind of bahu I have. And that gave your father the inkling that this one's not a good cook at all. But anyway, and then of course, we decided to have a baby because Pradeep said, look, when I'm 50, I want to have my child who's 25 and all. And it made sense what he was talking. But I thought that I'll wait for my, post graduation because MD. But anyway, we conceived you. We
Hi,
had
guys.
you. We had you. And it was a wonderful pregnancy. And you were 1.5 years old. Actually, you were 6 months old when I left you and I joined back to Kama Hospital. And it was really amazing. And used to come with my dabba to Kama Hospital. Rohan, I visited Kama about a couple of years ago, and all those ayabais and those nurses were there when you used to come as a child, actually came to me and said, "Oh, where is your son? What is he doing? Where?" Oh, because they remembered you coming with your dad with my food every night. So it's a beautiful memory. But of course, my mother-in-law was there at home to take care of you and all. And then she passed away, at 1.5 years when you were one and a half, you were hardly 1 year old, 4 months or something, she passed away. So obviously I had to come back because we could not leave you alone at home and stuff like that. And then what happened was there was a break in my education. And one day I just, I kind of went into depression also, Rohan, that I was not doing anything. Then one day my father just came home. I was at his house actually. And, in our houses, the child is supposed to serve the food, no servants to serve the food. So one of his friends was sitting and he introduced me, "Oh, this is my daughter who balofies chapatis in the house." This is how he introduced me. Latna gayon chapati latte. So I was really, really hurt by that. I said, I have to get back and everything. And this turmoil was going on in my mind. And I got a letter saying my registration is cancelled. So I was so devastated. I was really devastated. But, I was very stupid. I was naive, you know. But I think, Rohan, God was, I don't know, some sense, God, some energy was always with me. So I said, okay, let me go to the university. So I went to the university and there was this registrar. And by then, dad had started medical colleges also. So dad was well known at that point. I went to him. I was Nandita Palchetkar that time. I had already changed my name and stuff like that after MBBS. So I went to him and he told him that, I had a baby, my mother-in-law passed away and I could not join back work. And I've got this letter. Can anything be done about it? And he looked at me and he said, okay, no problem. I'll sort it out. And he gave me a letter that you have to complete your this. Please join work. I mean, it was as simple as that. Rohan, that was a big life lesson for me. This was a man who didn't know me from Adam. He just felt out of the goodness of his heart to help somebody. And that is what I keep telling everybody. A small action of yours can change the life of a person. Look where I am today with gynecology, and you're interviewing me as the president of, other things.
All the organization. Yeah,
Is it
absolutely.
hung?
No, no, we're still
Hello,
there. Don't worry.
Ro- Rohan, are
I
you
can
hung?
hear you. No, I can hear you.
But you're frozen. Okay. So, yeah, so I think we should really help, even if it's a small thing like, can you give me the pen? Yeah, give the pen. That is my mentality after this incident. That you can change somebody's life by just doing a small thing also. For me, it was a big thing. For him, it was, thousands of students are there, and he just helped out one of us. But it really changed my life. And then I got back into, you know, MD Gynae and Dr. Lopez's unit I joined, and
Yeah.
I've not looked back after that.
Who we fondly call as JLo as well. But honestly, just to tell you one thing, a simple thing that I wanted to ask you was, see, we all know about your IVF journey, but it's your leadership things which I want to ask you about. And this is going to be a little bit of a, I don't know, I may think it's a bouncer because I'm very early in my career, but for you, it may just be a simple thing. What's one of the biggest lessons in leadership that you have that's taught you? Like you've been a leader of so many organizations, you've actually been there. What is one thing that you've taken back through these leadership roles?
I think a leader is someone who leaves behind a legacy. A legacy maybe in terms of work, maybe in terms of followers, maybe in terms of leaders themselves. During my entire journey, I think I learned from my father how, and mother actually, how to be inclusive. Simple thing like we'd get glucose biscuits, they would divide it into four of us, and there was two extra biscuits, I remember. And they would be given to the youngest two. So we learned how to, take care
Share
of
the
the younger
Yeah, take
ones
care of each
as
other.
well as respect the older people. So it was a learning journey, and also let me tell you, inclusiveness, creating leaders. And remember, I think you know that I always listen to you youngsters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel that so many innovations, so many ideas, especially my emojis year was very innovative, was very different, because I listened to all of you, all the youngsters in my life, and I had such a fabulous young team. My youth council, they still work with me. If I ever call on anybody, I may not be the president, and I tell them I want this done, they will bend over backwards to do it. You know,
Just to
I,
just to give an insight to all of you all, this is back in 2016 when we used to be about 38, 40 of us actually sitting in the house having a meeting with her. And usually we expect the president to tell us things. Here, our president saying, guys, tell me what's different we can do. And we used to come up with some crazy, funky ideas. In fact, we had a Olympia for emojis that year where we had we had cricket, we had football, we had badminton. Along with these three sports, we had egg on a spoon race. We had
mean, on a
that
three-legged race. I remember
legged
me and
race.
Suchitra were partners.
Exactly. So
And you
it's
forgot one thing, Master Chef. That's my passion. I
yes,
can cook.
absolutely. Absolutely. We had MasterChef Mumbai, where it actually allowed a lot of people to be involved. In addition to that, their family members also came, and it gave an entire thing, as you said, of inclusiveness. It actually made MOGS feel like family for me, at least for the first time, because that was one of my earlier years in my career. So
Nashik, Navi Mumbai, Pune,
Pune,
everybody participated.
Thane, absolutely. Everyone was there. And I think it was a really fun thing. And that's what I think you actually gave those youngsters who are still working today with you. And some of the fondest memories, like they always tell me that, Rohan, when it's your mom, na, like they call you auntie behind your back, they call you ma'am on your face. But basically they're like, it's so easy to approach her. Like, if there's any problem, we can always pick up the phone and give her a call. And that's something that's truly amazing about you, about your approachability. And I think that's something that all of us youngsters would love to learn. But
One
now
more
I've,
thing,
yeah,
Rohan, give credit where it's due. I will
absolutely.
never hog the credit for your idea. I will implement it and it'll be implemented in a different way, but I will always give credit. And that is what is very important. Because if you're not given the credit, people will not value your,
Leadership.
talent, your
Yeah.
ability, and you need that, you know, growth
Everyone
spurt.
loves the appreciation.
Growth spurt, yes.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, this is just words are stolen from her, she said in the past. So, absolutely. Um, Now, since we're talking about the youngsters, what's one piece of advice you give to young budding doctors?
You know what? I think you have to have passion, you have to have focus, and you have to love what you do. I still remember a lot of people come and ask me, from where do you get this energy? You're always high. So I'm not
On life,
high.
guys.
I'm naturally high. I'm high on life. So what happens is, one day I still remember I was in a very junior year, and I came home and I was so exhausted, having worked the whole day. And I told my father, I'm so tired, I'm fed up. So he said, you're fed up? What did you do today? So I said, oh, I went here, I did some ETs, I did this, I did consulted, I saw my infertility patients, I delivered some baby, this, that. So he's saying, do you love your work? I said, oh God, I looked at him in surprise. I said, of course, you know how much I adore my work. I really enjoy it. So he said, listen to me, beta. If you enjoy your work, it has to give you more energy when you do it to even do more. You can never be tired of it. And that really stuck in my brain. And since then, I have never really felt tired or anything. I'm just energized by what I do, what I love, whether it may be, IVF, or it may be, organizing a conference, or just participating in a dance. I
Absolutely.
mean, I love life. And, something, Rohan, our profession has given us this opportunity to come on TV. See, I'm doing a podcast with you. So I love this aspect also of our profession. I really enjoy talking. Nobody can stop me from talking. Look at your face.
I think that's why the rule of, anyways, I'm not going to get into that. That'll probably get me into trouble. But I honestly, I just want to say that this is such a fun conversation that I've been having with you. I'm pretty much done with the questions about your journey, your leadership, and how you've been mentoring the youngsters. But before I let you go off this podcast, we're going to have a little bit of a rapid fire round.
Ooh, now you.
Ju- no, no, but this is going to be fun. This is going to be
Okay.
fun. It's not going to be this, but it has to be rapid.
Okay.
Okay? So let's go. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Night owl or early mornings?
Night. Out.
Your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure. Parting with my friends. Read
Sari or
between the lines.
sari or scrubs?
Scrubs. After COVID, before COVID, it was sari.
Okay, now let's get to a little bit more on the professional side. Most challenging surgery you've ever done?
You know, this patient, where she had endometriosis, adenomyosis, the uterus was really wonky. And I had to, really dance into that, different moves. I think that embryo transfer, I love my embryo transfers. And
Fair
the
enough.
more difficult they are, the more, I enjoy them. But this was a patient where it was really, really difficult one, and I had to use the metal cannula, and then I used it and she got pregnant.
I know. That's one
And
of the best feelings.
one of the patients, whose embryo
I know, I know.
was really difficult.
The best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received, I think, enjoy. You know,
Enjoy your life.
this is your year. Enjoy everything. Enjoy work, enjoy your presidency, enjoy everything. Don't stress about anything.
Okay, now just a few playful questions and then I'm letting you go. If you weren't a doctor, what would you be?
If I wasn't a doctor, what would I be?
Yes.
Oh, I can't think of anything, yeah. I really can't. But maybe a politician. I would love to be a
Oh, nice.
politician.
Texting or calling?
Calling. I'm a
Fair enough.
very physical and a verbal person.
Absolutely. And your last question, a movie or TV character you relate to?
A movie or TV character that you relate to. Wait. Let me think. Let me think. I
I
think,
will answer that for you.
yeah, tell me.
She's more like Rachel from Friends. Lots of fun, enjoys life, is high on life, just carefree at times, a little too carefree where we have to end up caring more for her.
Oh, thank
But
you.
honestly, thank you. You've given us
You've
such
been
a
a wonderful son.
thank you, thank you. I was trying to fish for compliments for myself. But honestly, thank you so much. Thank you for giving us such an insight into the journey of Nandita Palshetkar. We all knew the gynecologist Nandita Palshetkar, but it's always fun to know the person Nandita Palshetkar. I've
Don't
had
ask me
30.
a single question on Zuri.
Ah, okay, fine. What's the naughtiest thing you do to Zuri?
What is the naughtiest thing I do to Zuri? Oh my God. You know what? I do not allow her. I take away her book because that is something that she's crazy about books. But you know, Rohan, something? How many books I bought for you to get you to start reading and loving books? I think I am seeing that in Zuri, and I'm so happy that she's
Even I'm very happy, honestly.
amazing what the book, the love for the book she has.
But I think that's due to Karishma more than anything else. I
Yeah,
think Karishma has been the person behind it.
I
And
know she's
and
really
we
been
should give credit where it's due, like you said. But
yes.
honestly, now my last question, I promise. What's the naughtiest thing Zuri's done to you?
Naughtiest thing, Zuri. Oh God, every day she does naughty things. Yeah, I can't think of it. You probably know it better.
I genuinely don't. I think she loves going and waking up her
No,
Aji when
I'll tell
she's
you
fast
what she
asleep.
does. You know what she does? She will go and hug my husband. She will go kiss him. She will be very sweet with him. And she will not come near me because she knows I get very jealous. I think that she knows, how
Yeah,
to.
yeah. That she does properly to trouble you. That she does properly to trouble you.
I know.
So now I'm going to call it an end for the podcast. Thank you very much. We've loved your journey as a teen, as an adolescent, as a mother, now as a grandmother, and of course, a mentor, a friend to everyone there. Pretty much every time I go for any conference, everyone's like, "Hey, how's your mother doing?" I'm like, "She's doing perfectly well." And they all miss you whenever you miss the conferences that I go to. So, thank you for being such a wonderful person. Thank you for giving such a lovely insight into your journey as a person rather than a gynecologist. I'm trying to avoid that. But you are a rock, you are a mentor, you're a philosopher and friend to a lot of people out there. So thank you for being you and thank you for coming on this Gyan Pravah podcast. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
Lots of love to everybody. Thank you.